So I'm going to be talking about zakat on crops and fruits. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Crops is whatever is grown from the ground, grains, beans, barley and the likes. Fruits are what is grown on trees like dates and grapes. Allah says in the Quran, O you who believe, spend from the good things that which you have earned and that which we have produced for you from the earth. Allah has produced from us from the earth these crops, fruits and grains that we feed. And Allah also says, and give its due zakat on the day of its harvest. This is specifically for things farmers grow. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, anything that is irrigated by rain and springs or plants with roots that go deep into the ground, 1/10 is due on that which is irrigated by using camels. A half of 1/10 is due. The hadith states that there's two percentages for zakat. In gold, silver and trading goods it's 2.5%. Here it's either 10% or 5% depending on the method of irrigation. If there is cost on me as a farmer to irrigate, then it becomes 5%. If there's no cost, it is fed and irrigated by water or the edges of springs and the plant itself can reach by its roots without any extra effort from our side, then it's 10% zakat on it. Prophet ﷺ, and this is part of the evidence that is mandatory and obligatory to give zakat on such crops and fruits. The Prophet ﷺ said, no zakat is due on anything less than 5 al-wasa, a measurement of size. This is a measurement of weight rather than measurement of size. 1 wasak is equivalent to 60 saha. A saha is equivalent to 4 mut, and each mut is what one can gather in the palms of his hand. That is 1 mut. 60 saha will make 1 wasak, and the zakat is due, and the threshold for crops and fruits will be 5 wasak. The consensus of scholars is that 10% or 5% is mandated for what has been produced by the earth in terms of crops and fruits, and difference of opinion in details, the conditions of it being obligatory. So the specific conditions for crops and fruits. Firstly, it should reach the nisab, the threshold, that is 5 mut, which is equivalent to 300 sa. And if we measure it in wheat, in good quality wheat, it should be 612 kg based on saha weight in 20 and 40 grams. The farmer has full possession of it on the day of zakat, which is the harvesting day. It's not like any other goods that should pass a lunar year, but rather the moment the harvesting is done and the crops or the fruit are ready to be dispatched to sow, this is when the zakat is due. In essence, scholars define that the crops that we talk about is something that can be stored and kept for safekeeping, such as wheat, barley, corn and rice and dates among the fruits and raisins. These are zakatable because we can store them, which means that anything that cannot be considered to be staple food is not zakatable. For example, apples, cucumbers, vegetables, these are not zakatable food, as these are staple food. We cannot store them, and the threshold is the weight of the 612 kg, give or take, because the measurement is in size, not weight. What is due on fruits and grains, as mentioned before, which is 1/10, which is 10% of whatever is harvested, is due if it is irrigated without any effort or cost, and this is understandable when the water is taken from springs or rivers or from the rain, or the plant itself has roots which reaches the water by itself without any cost on us. The second percentage is 5% and half the 10th, and this is what is irrigated with some cost or some effort. For example, if we're using machines, pumps, pipes and dig ditches would put a lot of effort in order to make the water reach, we only pay 5% of zakat, because this is what the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, and which is irrigated on rain, river or springs, or has roots that go deep in the ground. 1/10 is due for that which is irrigated by camels. A half or 1/10 is due. The camels is referred to in this hadith is referring to the she camel that used to carry water to the crops or go around in circles to get the water from the well or the likes to the ditches that will make it reach the crops or the trees. The zakat is due when the crops or fruits become well in the sense that is well established and the fruits are ripe, they look ripe, then zakat is due in that case. If it's not eatable, not colourful, in one hadith the Prophet was referring to the fruits when they had become red or yellowish. This is understood with dates. When they grow and become ripe, they become yellow or red. Before that it was green, so when it becomes colourful, ripe and ready, then the zakat is due. The basic principle is that the zakat is to be given on the harvest. This is a norm. You have gold, you take gold and give zakat from it. You have silver, you take silver and take kit. And some scholars say that this default can be compromised by giving the value, and that what estimators do. At the time of zakat, usually experts come and look at the trees and are professional. They say this farm of palm trees has like 300 tons of dates expected to come from his harvest. We have this amount, we can estimate the value, we can give the cash. This is easy for the farmer who would like to sell the whole thing once it's harvested, instead of taking the 5% or 10%. The cash method is much easier. Do we combine the harvest if it's different types because the owner is one? This depends. If the owner is one and has different farms and the harvest is of dates, so all of these farms are date palm trees, are combined them and I give zakat. But if I have different farms with different crops and fruits, you cannot combine the zakat. I leave you here. Fi amanillah wa sallallahu wa barak ala nabina Muhammad astaghfirullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.